Hi guys, welcome to Soul Connections. I'm your host, Jo Labbé, here with Star Nations Radio Network, and we're broadcasting to you live through Be Live TV. Hi everyone. Soul Connections is all about your soul and how to connect to your spirit, your spiritual team, and to use that to help you get guidance and receive healing. So we start off each Soul Connections with a meditation meant to help you move energy that no longer works for you, whether it is physical pain that you're having difficulty, maybe some emotional overwhelm that has been getting to you. I know a lot of people right now are under a lot of stress and with all of these changes. And so those are things that you can work on during the healing part of the show. And if you would like to receive a card reading later, all you have to do is ask, and you type in yes, please. And tonight's deck is the Earth Magic. Let me get this a little closer. Sorry. The Earth Magic deck by Stephen Farmer. And this deck is really connected to Grandmother Earth's energy. It's got a lot of basic how-to on what your soul may be trying to tell you. And so I pull cards until we're done, until we're complete. And we pull them in the order that we receive them here in the production studio, which might be a little bit different than your feed, which is okay. And I invite you guys to like and share the broadcast and get it out there into Facebook land so that, you know, we can maybe reach some other people who could use a little help or a little healing, especially in this time. You know, we're in this time of a lot of change, and it can be unsettling and ungrounding. And the meditation really helps us get into our body, helps to release our anxiety, our fears, and reconnects us to that sense of who we truly are, which is great. So feel free to type in yes, please, to receive your card. And a big shout out to my second in command, Cooper, who's here helping navigate the technology for me, which has been fun. There's all sorts of glitches. So at the moment we have, you know, this thing going on in the upper corner here. Be Live wants its logo to be here. And that's okay. There's a reason for everything. So maybe it's partly because we're in the middle of trying to be live. We're trying to live our life out loud, and that's what we need to stream. It's fine. So, you know, make sure you type in the comments if you'd like to receive a card. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. It's been a whirlwind day for me. I'm sure it has been for you guys as well. There's a lot of change down the road. I chose to move during the pandemic to Maine and sell my house and move my business and all of that. So, you know, you have the huge upheaval, and then, you know, then the pieces start to fall together. Right after you've built a new foundation, you start building. And so we're in that space right now, which is really can be fun and exciting and scary and terrifying all at the same time. So I'm sure you have your own version of that right now. So make sure that if you would like a little bit of help, you know, type in your yes, please, and I will make sure to get that. And just a shout out to those people that I know are already in the house. So hi, Ellen and Alyssa and Rob, Lindsay, Margaret, and Andrew. And Andrew, you and I, we got to find a way to get together because now we're close by. And hi, Mom, Shirley. Glad to have you here with me tonight. So I'm going to get started on the meditation right away because I feel like people are looking for the guidance that the cards are giving us. And I want to make sure to get to everyone. We've been doing, you know, between 40 and 50 readings each week, which is fantastic. But I want to make sure, like I said, to get to everyone. So with that, let's get ourselves started and grounded. So let's take a couple of deep breaths. And let's do one more. Breathe in. And then out. And to ground our energy, we're going to connect to our heart. And we're going to ask our heart to create our grounding cords. We're going to start with the cord that connects us deep within the earth plane. So imagine a giant green cord of connection going from your heart down into your solar plexus, and allowing that cord to expand, ground, and connect. And then asking that grounding cord of connection to go from your solar plexus down to your second chakra below the navel, expanding, connecting, and grounding. And then allowing the grounding cord to go from your second chakra down through your root near your tailbone, grounding, connecting, expanding. And now inviting the cord to go down each leg, the right and the left leg equally, down through your knees and your ankles and your feet. And as it begins to go beneath the earth's surface, just imagine that each measurement of distance, the cord gets wider and fuller and stronger. So when the cord reaches the very center of the earth, allowing it to connect right through the molten lava center, connecting directly to the heart of the divine feminine, Grandmother Earth, Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, however you perceive her. And asking and inviting that cord to widen so that you may receive clearing and healing energy more fully and more completely. And then inviting the grounding cord to also go up to the divine masculine, moving from our heart up to our throat. And again, allowing that bright green to ground and connect and center us, expanding gently. And then grounding through our third eye, in the center of our forehead, grounding, connecting, and expanding. And then from our third eye to the top of our head at our crown, centering, grounding, connecting, and expanding. And allowing that cord to go up through our higher self, out through the earth plane, through the cosmos, to the very center of creation, where our soul was first perceived, and allowing that energy to expand and anchor so we feel fully connected at the top and beneath our feet. And inviting the divine feminine and masculine to come into balance and harmony within our heart. And allowing that unconditional love to radiate out through each of our auric layers, through our bubbles of protection. And asking the divine energy to surround and protect us in this beautiful bubble of love and light. And you can imagine that that outer bubble is like a mirror, one that you can see out and is reflecting of all that is around. And we invite in our spiritual teams of the highest, fullest, and brightest vibration available to us to assist us with our healing this evening and our guidance through the messages. And we invite in the divine, in the fullest, highest, brightest vibration and frequencies from each direction, dimension, and realm. And we set the intention that the healing performed here this evening, as always, is for the good of all and harm to none, including ourselves. And beginning at our crown, we gently allow space to open our connection with our perception of the divine, however we experience that. Making room for more possibilities, more opportunities, more wisdom. To connect to us and through us. And for those of us who connect to others through our crown chakra, reminding our gatekeeper to allow in only the energy that serves our highest purpose. And connects us to the highest, fullest, and brightest divine beings. We ask our spiritual team in the angelic realm to guard and guide our energy. returning our sense of self to a place of safety and security. Releasing all doubt and worry and fear that we may have stirred up recently. Gently allowing it to dissolve away like water. And as we move into the third eye, opening our portals of connection to our spiritual team, bringing harmony and balance into our gifts, inviting in clarity so that we can understand the messages that are coming to us and through us. And inviting in all messages that are sent in unconditional love. And allowing the throat to gently expand, making room for our authentic truth and self-expression to be free, to be seen and heard and felt, releasing all the stress and the tension that we've been carrying in our neck and our shoulders. Releasing the burdens we've carried for ourselves and others. Giving us a moment of peace and tranquility and healing for ourselves so that we may help others from a full and loving place. And opening the heart and the lungs, clearing any congestion, tightness, or difficulty, boosting our aura and our immune system, so that we can breathe freely and completely, releasing any toxins that we may be carrying of any vibration that we are willing to release. And from the center of our back, making space for love and support, and room for us to be simply in this moment. Releasing all worry of the future, of what could be, or what may be. Breathing our life force more fully into this moment so we can carry it with us more completely. And moving down into the solar plexus, beneath our rib cage. Gently cleansing, restoring, and repairing all of our beautiful organs. that may be holding energy that no longer serves us. Hold anger, fear, resentment, judgment, or righteous anger. Calming the fire to be used in creation of what we truly desire, rather than what fear desires. And truly opening the possibility for healing to come in fully and completely. Feeling ourselves realigning in love and light. And allowing that healing to flow through our blood, through our air, through our muscles and tissues and organs. And moving down into the second chakra and allowing the flow of our life to return. Honoring all of our emotions fully and completely. Allowing that energy to ground in our hips so that we feel centered and balanced. And connecting to our new foundation in our root chakra beneath our tailbone. Restoring a sense of security, stability, and gently allowing our survival fears to melt away even just for this moment. So we can be in a place of adaptability and flexibility to change and all that it teaches us. And releasing the old fears that come to the surface when we are faced with these changes and these challenges. And now gently releasing all of the energy that we've transmuted and transformed down through our cord into the center of the earth. Allowing the burning of the feminine heart to shift all that energy into love and light, to be used for creation in all of its forms. Now allowing the divine energy to fill in all the places where we released old energy to our head, and our eyes and our ears, our jaw and our throat, our spine and our shoulders, our arms and our hands, our heart and our lungs, our kidneys, our liver, our pancreas, our stomach and spleen, and all of the organs in our belly, our bones, our muscles, all the way down to our feet. And making sure that our aura is full and complete in the physical, the emotional, the mental, and spiritual layers. Releasing all attachments that do not serve our highest purpose. Eliminating all interference of energy from others. And allowing healing to go through our karma and our Akashic records. And taking a moment to send healing to those who have prayed for their highest and best. And having gratitude for our spiritual team for being present to assist us with the healing and the messages this evening. Now gently bringing your awareness back to your physical body, the present moment. You might want to begin to stretch or yawn. Feel your muscles or your bones wiggle your fingers, rub your feet on the floor. Stretch, yawn, whatever will help you feel your presence in this moment. All right, got a sip of water. Okay, so if you would like me to pull a card for you, I'm doing them with the Earth Magic cards. This is the Stephen Farmer deck. For me, this has a very strong Divine Feminine energy, very connected to Grandmother Earth, Gaia, however you perceive that. And most of you already know that I channel the messages. So if you have this deck, it may not match what the little booklet says. It's just a visual guide for me to, it's a symbol for the message to come through. So if you would like me to pull a card for you, then just type in yes, please, and I will be glad to do that for you. And I invite you to listen to the messages for other people as well. There's usually some themes of what's going on. And while the message may not feel like it's for you, it may give you an indication of what someone near you is going through. And you'll be like, oh, you know, when Polly Jo was doing her show, she was talking about this, because we will have 3 or 4 themes that usually pop up if you take the time to listen. And it's always interesting. And it guides me when I work with my clients, because I can say, this is up for a lot of people this week, because it really is. All right, so let's start with Ellen Bartos. So hi, sweetheart. Glad you were able to make it. Very happy to see your picture this time with your beautiful face. I wanted to acknowledge that. So you have the full moon card. And the full moon is all about things coming to completion. So it feels like things are starting to tie up for you. And what I mean by that is that, you know, for a lot of us, we had an old way of doing things. And we're starting to embrace a new way of doing things. And so it's almost like you're signing the line and you know, signing off on these old work orders. And in that place in the full moon, when we're complete with things, there's this sigh of relief, like, phew, that's done. And now I can enjoy myself for a little bit and then move on to the next thing. So it's that sense of something finishing and in the near future, something brand new beginning. So I'm not sure what all that is for you, but I feel a lot of movement and maybe even moving. So there you have it. So whatever is finishing, it feels like a weight off your shoulders. So I love that for you. All right, Alyssa. Nice. So your card, sweetie, is the eagle. So communion is what the theme is. And so the eagle is seen as, you know, a divine messenger. It's very strong healing medicine. And in that, that's you communicating really closely with the divine and hearing the messages that are coming to you from the divine and you being able to communicate what you would like. Sometimes, you know, those of us who have a really strong connection, it's almost like we sit and we listen for marching orders, but we don't ask for ourselves. We don't say, hey, this is what I want. Can you help me with that? And so this is inviting you to co-create with the divine, not to simply be a servant, but to be a co-creator. Decide how you want your life to look and what you want it to feel like, and ask for it and see what comes in for you on how to do that more clearly. And I would bring in some eagle medicine. So, you know, I don't know. I would assume you have some sort of altar. And if you do, I would have a picture of an eagle on it, or a little eagle statue, something that's symbolic. And just give yourself some time to meditate on the eagle and what it can bring for you, because it may be part of your animal totem, and it may be your symbol of, you know, that you can ask your team for, you know, like if I'm moving in the right direction, show me an eagle, and then you'll notice how often the eagle shows up for you. And it doesn't have to be a live eagle. It can be the eagle on a logo or in a book or on a card. And that can be your team's confirmation for you. So work with the eagle medicine. It'll be good for you. All right, Rob. Nice. Waterfall is your card. So what this is inviting for you as with the waterfall is that when water goes down in a waterfall, there's no resistance. Everything is effortless. And so as part of this energy, it's the just allowing things to flow and see what happens. You know, we know how difficult it is to paddle upstream. You and I have done that, you know, 100 times. But what happens if we just go with it? What just happens if we can be in the beauty of the waterfall? There's a lot of sacred connection energy with waterfalls, a lot of baptismal type of energy that happens. And so when we allow the water energy to just wash over us and flow over us, it really helps us be in a place where we're very connected to the divine. So hopefully that makes sense for you. So make sure that you're not trying too hard, that you're in a place where, you know, you're allowing things to just unfold. Because when we try to make things happen, that's when we cause the most resistance. Does that make sense? All right, sweetie. Have a great one. Lindsay. Hi, sweetie. Nice to see you. So your card is the childhood card. So for me, this always means it's time to reconnect with your inner child. And in this deck in particular, the inner child is less about creative play and more finding that innocence. And there's a difference between innocence and naivete. You know, it's that it's in that place where, you know, you don't have expectations, that you just try things without effort. You don't expect things, you just allow them, and you are in this place where you're really curious. You're like, I wonder what that is and wonder how that works. And in that space of curiosity, a lot of creation energy can flow, and a lot of energy can really come to the surface. And when we do that, our child is allowed to create in possibilities, because the child doesn't hold restrictions on their imagination. In their imagination, they can create anything they want to. It's only as we get older and adults say, well, you can't do that, you can't be that, and we start to close our energy in. So we want to get back to your energy where all possibilities were open. And that's where you can start to have some change and some shifting. And if you're having difficulty with that, then do things that are playful with your inner child, and she'll start to trust you again. All right. Good luck with that, sweetie. All right, Margaret. Hi, dear. So your card is ceremony. So the ceremony card is often a sign that your spirit is needing some sort of ritual, you know. And for those of us who have a spiritual practice, it may be like creating an altar. It may be saging. It may be saying an invocation to the moon, or saying prayers to like Mother Mary, whatever feels like a ritual to you, you know. And rituals can have the ceremony of, you know, lighting candles, having flowers, having food, but there's just something about that your soul is really craving, and it doesn't have to be elaborate. I think that's the part that's difficult. Like right now, there's so many people who are graduating, and they're not getting to have the ritual of a traditional graduation. But that doesn't mean you can't create one for them, right? You can still create a stepping up ceremony so that they can feel the importance of the moment and the memory. And so something like that is up for you. And there's lots of books on that. And just take the pieces that feel right for you. It's almost like you're creating a wedding, you know, like people do what feels best for them. And you need some sort of ceremony. And it could be, you know, you're starting a new job, or, okay, we're in 2020 and everything's changing, so I need to celebrate that we're changing. It can be whatever you need, sweetie. Don't put boundaries on it. All right, Anne. Hi, dear. So your card is the Dragonfly card. And the Dragonfly card is all about how, you know, you come out of, it's very much like a lotus. So you're coming out of the muck and emerging. And it's almost like you were underwater for all this time, under all this heavy mud and under this heavy water. And now you're about to spread your wings and fly. You know, a dragonfly comes out of that mucky kind of energy and becomes something, transforms into something beautiful. And so you're starting to emerge, you're starting to grow your own wings. So what can you do to help yourself feel light and bright so that you can take flight in a whole new way? This often means some of our spiritual gifts are starting to come out, or our sense of self is starting to shift and change, and we start to get more comfortable in our own skin. Whatever that is, embrace it and lean into it and see how comfortable you can get with this new version of you that's coming forth. Woo! Very fun. All right, Andrew. Aw, nice. So your card is love, and this is the compassion card. So in this card, it's the how do you touch that place in your soul? I know for you, a lot of it is music and cooking, that artist in you. And when you're in that place, you're able to express the love in your soul. And when you do that, you're able to hold space for other people who aren't having such a good time right now. It's the empathic part, of us that holds empathy. And when we have empathy for others, we sense what they're going through, and we give them a hug filled heart. So it's like our heart wraps right around them, and we hold them and let them know that it's okay to be wherever they're at, and that we are willing to just send them as much love as we can. And that I'm feeling you doing it for another person, but it can also sometimes be that we need to do it for ourselves, or we need to do it for our inner child, wrap our inner child in a cocoon. But I feel like at this point, you're holding space for someone else who maybe held space for you at one point when you were feeling low. And it's that energy of, oh, I've been there. It's, being able to be like, oh, I've been there, and this is so tough, but it's okay. You're going to get through this, and I'll be here to listen if you need me. So it's that kind of energy. So be the heart and the light that someone else needs right now. All right. Thank you. All right, Shirley. Hi, Mom. This is perfect for you. This is the tree card. It's telling you need to ground. We've talked about this. I know you've been listening to Neshi's grounding videos in the mornings, So when we get a little unsettled energetically, we start to lose focus. We have trouble concentrating. We can have trouble with our balance, emotionally and physically. So grounding is really key for you. And you know how to use the grounding blend, and to put balance in your diffuser, to help out, to help keep the grounding happening. And remember that, technology is very ungrounding. So if you're spending a lot more time on technology, and a lot of us are, what are you doing to protect yourself from the technology, the waves of that? One of the things that's come up a number of times this week is titanium. So you can use titanium. You can wear it if you have jewelry that has it in it. You can have like screws or bolts that you can get at a local hardware store. You can put those in your pocket, but you can also place it right on your computer, because it helps create a force field around the device, so it doesn't bother you. Remember too, if you have a Q-link, and I think you do, that you might want to be wearing that, because that'll also shield and protect you. And that would be helpful. All right. Thank you. All right, Rochelle. Hi, dearest. So your card is the winter solstice card. And in the winter solstice, this is a time of reflection. When we're in the winter energy at the winter solstice, it's a time when energetically we would go into hibernation. It's when we're supposed to, review the year gone by, celebrate the things that we enjoyed, and look at things that we don't enjoy that we want to change, and what we would like to plant in the new year. And so this is a time to meditate and journal, take walks in nature, and just review what has gone on for you. Don't dwell on the things that have gone wrong in the past, though. Celebrate the things that have gone right. And if there's things in your current life right this minute that you're not happy with, start imagining how they could change. Even if it's like, well, if my fairy godmother came in and waved a wand over my head, what would my life look like? And just allow yourself to imagine what that could be. Even if your adult part of you, your intellect doesn't believe that could happen, that tells your spiritual team how you would like your life to change, you know? And so sometimes you invite in health and well-being. Sometimes you invite in more quality time with loved ones. Sometimes it's, you know, not worrying about bills, whatever it is that feels like it would be helpful. Maybe it's driving a red Corvette, who knows? But allow that possibility to come in, and that will help you. You can look at what has worked and what hasn't worked, and then create from there, create new change from there. All right. Kimberly. So your card is the Milky Way. So the Milky Way is perfect because it's all about having, you know, if we go way out in the galaxy and we look back at what's going on right now, it gives us, we're just this speck. We're not even a speck. We're mixed in, the Earth is a speck, right? So the perspective is that the things that seem huge and overwhelming right now in the grand scheme of things aren't a big deal. And a year from now, are you still going to be freaking out about this? Or are you going to look back and go, wow, that was a little challenging, but you know, I learned a lot from it and things are much better. And now I've got this. So when we get caught in anxiety and we get caught in worry, it's that we generally need to step out of the emotional energy of what we're dealing with and look at it from a more analytical place. Because when our emotions are in it and we're triggered and we're angry or we're upset or worried, we have trouble focusing and we have trouble imagining something different. We get into this overwhelmed place and we freeze. So this is just saying, okay, see if you can back up a little bit. And if you can't, then phone a friend that you trust, like completely, and ask for them to give you a different perspective. Because we often can do it for other people, even when we can't do it for ourselves. All right. Good luck with that, sweetie. All right, Emily. Hi, dear. So your card is dream time. So in the dream time, I'm seeing that what's happening for you in your dreams is that you're creating a lot. And in that space where you're creating, it's like your inner child's got the magic paintbrush and is going to town. So what's being invited is that, you know, if you have things that you're not sure about what to do or how to do it, sometimes I write down right before bed, you know, to my team, right? Could you show me the way to work on this problem? Or how I can help this thing, you know, this thing in my life. And you write those things down and you go to bed and you sleep on it. And your team helps create this movie and this scenario, and you get to direct it and you go, yes to this, no to that. And you play with all the possibilities until you're like, yep, that's the one. And I used to do that when I was a dance teacher and was doing choreography. I would say, okay, show me the next part, you know, so that when I wake up, I can take action right away. And so I'd dream and then I'd write it. I'd wake up in the middle of the night sometimes and write down the next thing. And it was one of those things where I would walk into the studio and say, okay, I dreamed this part. And then everybody goes, okay. Because they knew it was already a done deal. I'd already seen them doing it, so they couldn't pretend that they couldn't do it. So try that for your dream time creation, and it'll help you imagine some new possibilities. All right, Sandy. All right, you have the iceberg right now. So this is the submerged energy. So, you know, it's got two flavors to it. You know, whatever's coming up, presenting itself as a problem right now, it's just the tip of the iceberg. But part of that is that when we feel like uncertain, what's coming in really clearly is that there's a lot of stuff that you don't know that's beneath the surface. So it's not a time to make decisions. It's not a time to create change. You don't have enough information. There's too much that's not being shown to you. And so it's time to put on your diver's suit. I'm seeing you like suiting up and going under those waters and seeing what's hidden under there. You know, and the other thing that can happen with that in this card, for those of us who are, you know, spiritual workers, sometimes the submerged stuff is old emotional stuff or old trauma that's, you know, creating a little resistance right now. And so maybe you need to go into those old places and see what's lurking in the deep waters, because that may be creating this iceberg that, you know, is this mountain of resistance and you don't know why you have it. So it could also be that, and maybe it's a combination of both. And you know who to reach out to if you need some help moving that mountain. All right, sweetie, talk to you soon. Barbie, hi, dear. So you have the Earth Magic card. And the Earth Magic card is all about fairies, fairy energy. And for you, I'm really seeing not just the fairies, but the elementals. You know, the diva, the water divas, and the tree spirits, and the gnomes and the leprechauns, and so all of these divine beings who hold energy from the earth plane. And so what is being called forth right now, what I'm sensing is that you need to reconnect with that part of you that can connect to the fairies and invite them to help you. I always know the fairies are around when things get misplaced. You know, they love to move your keys and your glasses and your phone, and they've been at it. Anyways, around here. But it's that sense of, oh my gosh, I misplaced it again. But when you call on them, I'm like, all right, I get it. You're being funny. They can help you. And they also can bring back that sense of childhood wonder, which is really important. And they also are very good at teaching us how to ground all this chaotic energy and not take things so seriously. We can just be ourselves and be light and bright, and we don't have to be influenced by all these other people's opinions and fears. So it's time to call that in. And again, if you have a sacred place where you connect, you know, or meditate, like an altar or something, you know, you might want to create a connection to the fairies. All right. Okay. Let's see. Tina. Hi, dear. So Tina, you have the autumn equinox. And the autumn equinox is all about release. It's like the fall, like the trees don't hang on to those leaves, right? They just let go and they let them fall down. They have all this beauty and splendor as they've changed and grown more and more beautiful. And they're willing to be raw and bare and free of all of that. And so right now there's some stuff that you're holding on to and it just wants to go. And lots of it's old thoughts and beliefs that don't work for you. Maybe some old resentment. We've all got a lot of old resentment or judgment that we're carrying for other people. And it's like, it weighs too much on our soul, on our life and what we're doing. And so find a way to let it go if you can. And it's easy to say the words, but it's hard to take the action. And I have a really good oil for that. It's called Release Your Story. So if you go to my website, trinityhealingsanctuaries.com. Hopefully Cooper can type that in for me. You can go there and you can order it, or you can just send me a message through Chakra Sessions. But release your story for anybody out there who's got cords of connection to other people or things that they're just trying to let go of, because that old energy is really dense. That oil is just fantastic for that. All right. Rhonda, hi dear. So your card is the Cave card. And the Cave card, you know, some people might think of cave as hiding, but it's more like you're going into a place that feels sacred and safe for you. It's a sanctuary. And when we need to find sanctuary, it's because there's a lot of outside pressure and a lot of expectations, and it's very heavy and overwhelming. And so it's like you need some peace and quiet. And I know for some people, they're like, well, geez, you know, here we are and we're isolated. And it's like, yeah, but sometimes we're isolated with a bunch of people who are noisy and loud, and that doesn't help us. But, or we've got, you know, work now thinks we can work 24/7 because we're stuck at home, and we don't have boundaries on that. So you need to create some sanctuary for yourself. You know, it is Memorial Day weekend. You can set the intention that you're on an energetic vacation, even if you can't take a physical one. You put your phone on, you know, do not disturb for 3 days. You tell everyone you love that you're doing it. And, you know, they can be one of your emergency numbers if they're the only ones allowed to get through. But you need a break. And in that place where you get some sanctuary, do the things that nourish your soul. You know, read or write or take walks and tubbies and naps, and just let all of that extra energy from other people like fall off your body, because it's impacting your nervous system right now and making it a little hard for you to feel like yourself. All right, there you go, sweetie. Jacqueline, I love this card. This is the dance card. So you got something to celebrate. I don't know what it is, but you need to celebrate. And that's music and dance and fun and joy and playing. And, you know, sometimes we're like, okay, you know, I had this big thing happen, and we celebrate for like 15 minutes. You know, and Spirit's going, wait a minute, this is a really big deal, and you need to really celebrate more than that, you know. And, you know, I have friends who, you know, they don't have a birthday, they have a birth month. So the whole month is about them, you know, or they have a whole week where every single day of the week of their birthday week, you know, is a build up to their big celebration. And so, you know, this is all about playful connection, and we can do this even though we're isolated. You know, we can do a Zoom get together, or Skype get together, and put on music and dance. I have a really good friend, Francesca, who does an enchanted circle, and she does it, and it's like a dance party that she does a couple times a month, I think now. And we do it right on Zoom. And it's great because you can just have that party with friends, even if you can't be with them. So time to celebrate. Get to it. All right, Ed. Oh my gosh, Ed. I'm going to start with you, and then I'll give Marge hers. So yours is the wind card. Sorry, the activation card. Oh, poor Ed. So the activation card is often that, you know, we're getting upgraded. Fun times. And so the winds of change are blowing. Things are shifting, you know. Those nice scheduled, this is how my life is going to be, and it's all according to plan. Not so much. Hurricanes coming in and saying, yep, that's not how it's going to go. And so as this is happening, you're really activating some higher frequency portals is how I'm hearing it, channels of connection. And so just be mindful that you don't necessarily want all of them open at the same time, because that can be pretty noisy. But you want to practice with that. And if you haven't had an attunement in a long time, you might want one, because that helps ground the new portals as they're activating. And I've seen a number of people who are, Reiki master teachers and things like that, where it's time for another attunement. And you can ask your spiritual team to do it if you don't have someone that you're comfortable with helping you with that. But it's time. It's time for that new activation so that you can hold this higher frequency easier, so it doesn't knock you off your feet so much, and so that you can ground it easily without any assistance. All right, now for Marge. Phew. So your card is the Whale. And the Whale card is all about breaching the surface. So it's that energy of you've been swimming along and gaining speed, and now you're about to burst out of the water and take flight. So in that moment, it doesn't matter how much the whale weighs, right? The whale gets to fly like a bird. And it can feel like an eternity before it then goes back underwater and swims again. But, if you've seen them, they just love that. They just love to gain momentum and then burst through, and then gain momentum and burst through. And so you're in a place where you're about to burst through. And when you burst through and allow yourself to have that weightlessness energy, remember that's the real Marge. The real Marge is coming out into the sunlight. The real Marge is being seen and having her moment in that sunshine. And in that moment where, the watchers, the whale watchers, are snapping pictures and going, it's that breathtaking moment when you defy the odds and you defy what has always been. And I love that idea of you taking flight. This sounds fun. You guys must be having a good time over there. Have a great night, you two. Minnie, hi, dearest. Of course you can have a card. So your card is the shape-shifting card. So the shape-shifting card is, it's all connected to clouds. And we know that when you're watching the clouds, they're constantly moving and they're constantly changing, evolving. And what we see in them is our own perspective. So when we're being called to use that energy, it's like it's us adapting to circumstances and becoming what we want to be and in each circumstance. And you have Minnie, who's the playful, adventurer, and then you have Minnie, who's the loving grandma, and then you have Minnie, who's the sister and best friend, and so each of those you shift into another expansion of Minnie. So right now there may be things that are compressing you, and it's just giving you an opportunity to grow into a new version of you. So it's like, I can feel like somebody trying to put you in the box, and then you're changing the box into like a stage for you to be on instead of a container. So this is going to involve, don't get stuck in old patterns, create new possibilities from them. And in them, stay aligned with your own self and your own version of yourself. Don't condense your energy to be what other people think you are or should be. All right? Good one for all of us. Okay, Carol. Hi, dear. Glad to have you. So your card is the River. So the River is, it's a card of movement. It's a card, it's always moving. If you test the water in one place, it will never be the same molecules. It's always a different one because it's not staying still. And, rivers can be calm and easy, and they can be fierce destroyers when they're going rapidly. So right now, it's just about allowing some space for change to happen and allowing your emotions to flow. And it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel mad. It's okay to feel happy. It's okay to be okay when other people aren't. And it's okay not to be. It's allowing all of that to come through and be fine in the moment. It's all good. It's all shifting. And we're going through a lot more change right now than we've ever gone through. And it's uncomfortable. And when we love to be there for other people, it's hard when we can't socially be there for other people. And sometimes we get tired of being there for other people. Sometimes we want somebody to be there for us. So make sure that you're just allowing yourself permission to feel everything you need to feel, even if it's uncomfortable. And that'll make space in your heart for brand new things to come in. All right. Love you. Lynn. Hi, dearest. So you have the summer solstice. So in the summer solstice, this is time to shine your light, to be the sunlight to somebody else's darkness, because we're all going through stuff. And some of us, we did our darkness and now we're in light and can shine for other people and help them through it while we're in our sun. And we may go back into an eclipse at some point. But right now, in this next week, it's all about how can you radiate that for other people? Sometimes it's about reaching out to other people who could just use a little connection right now. Sometimes it's, doing a quick phone call with someone, check in on one person every day for a week that maybe has the potential for being more isolated. We know people who live alone, or people who maybe they've had trouble in their relationship and now they've been stuck with that person for a few weeks. Maybe they need an ear. And it allows us to radiate love and light for them, and gives us that sense of service. When we are in a place where we can serve, then do it. And then when we need to be the person who needs to go into hibernation and take care of ourselves, then we have permission to do that too. So shine your light, because we need you this week. Because boy, we need you this week. All right. Thanks, sweetie. Let's see. And Beth. Oh, yes. Figured it was that, Beth. So Beth, your card is the lotus flower. So this is very much like the dragonfly card. And the lotus flower is that, again, you maybe have been in some muck. We've all been in some muck. And so now you're starting to blossom. You're starting to, when the lotus flower unfolds, lots of times we start to open our spiritual connection, or we open our gifts and we start using them differently. We open our creativity. It's like you're starting to bloom a little bit. And in that place of blooming, others around you are seeing, they're like, phew, she's coming out. She's coming out. I'm hearing that song, I'm coming out. So it's that sense of you're shedding all those old layers, and it's no longer defining who you are, and you're starting to be yourself, and sometimes it takes a pandemic for us to find ourselves, because now we're not trying to live up to everybody's expectations, and let this new Beth bloom and see who she wants to be and how she wants to be, because you can change your life in a minute. All right. Love that. All right, Marie. Hi, dear. So your card is the new moon. So in the new moon, this is all about, being able to, the new moon reminds me of like wishing on a star. It's like, what new things? There's like this promise of a new future. There's a new dawn that's bursting through, and there's all these possibilities that are coming in. And it's like, what do you wish for? What would you love to see or love to create? And don't put on the adult brain about, well, that's not possible, or that. let that inner child play the I wish game. I wish I lived in this kind of house. I wish I had this type of thing. I wish I could be. And just let them go. I like to do that sometimes as an exercise in my journal. And I let my inner child just say whatever it wants to say. And then it's interesting to see what's hiding inside. And all of those things are possibilities that we could actually create. So maybe tap into those and see what's ready to be birthed, So there's a number of us who are birthing in this next week. So that's exciting. So let's see some positive shifting and new abilities awakening. I love it. All right, Lisa. All right, so Lisa, you're another one who needs a little bit of solitude, which is fine. The island energy is good. So in that solitude, this is just a time when the island part in particular is like, you need time away from other people. I don't know how you necessarily create that, but you need to create it. Even if it's you shut your door and nobody can talk to you for 24 hours. I love you, but I need my space. It's a little bit about boundary setting, and maybe going off of technology. Sometimes we need to detox from technology. We don't check in on Facebook. We don't check our phone. We put it on do not disturb, and we mean it, because we need our nervous system to calm down. We're taking on too much energy from other people. When we're sensitive, we feel it in the technology. We feel it around us. We feel it. I mean, I don't know about you, but if I'm lucky enough to get out in the car and drive, I'm clearing energy like nobody's business, because I'm driving through other people's fear and anxiety. So in that space, like, you just need some time alone. And what recalibrates you? If you're somebody who likes to go out in the woods, then try to do that. If you like to go to the water, try to do that. And if you can't physically do it, then, use the technology to create it. There's music that has the water sounds on it, or there's music that has the birds and the wind blowing, and just let yourself visualize being in that place. Because your heart rate needs to come into balance, your breathing needs to come into balance, your nervous system needs to be like calmed down. Remember, lavender is really helpful for that. There's like shampoos and all sorts of things that have lavender in it that can be really calming and centering. Bergamot as well is very good for that. So that's what I'm feeling. It's just like there's like all this energy, and you just, I feel like you need to be given a timeout just so you can reset. So do that for yourself. You deserve it. All right, Julie. So your card, my dear, is the fire card. It's all about passion. So in this, it's like, what are you passionate about? I'm seeing you right. So put a little fire under your fanny and see how much writing you can do. And I know you've got a lot going on. I know a lot of movements happening for you in many different ways. but it's like that thing that gets you out of bed in the morning, is what excites you. That's what you want to do more of and be more of. But I am seeing a lot of writing. I keep seeing you writing, like you're writing on a chair, and then you're writing out in the woods, and then you're writing, and I'm just seeing a lot of writing. So it's really igniting that passion again. With writing in particular, sometimes it helps to, set an alarm. Like I'm going to give myself a half an hour or an hour every day to write, whatever it is, 15 minutes even. And you set an alarm on your phone and you just allow it to be there. And then next thing you know, you're clicking off and you're still going. But it's like you're set an appointment with yourself every day to do the thing that you're most passionate about, because that will help you enjoy the rest of your day so that it doesn't feel so heavy. All right. We all need that one too. Thank you. Cindy. Hi, dear. So your card is the Vision Quest card. And the Vision Quest card is very similar. We're hearing this one, go into isolation. We are very much in the energy right now of a vision quest because we're isolated. We are having different, our food is getting controlled, how often we can go out and have it. But part of the vision quest and part of what this is, meant to do for us is we're meant to reconnect with our spirit. And we're meant to get quiet, really quiet, and listen to what our team has to say to us and what our soul has to say to us. So I don't know if you can create that type of experience for yourself, but you don't have to necessarily not have food or water or that type of thing, but you need that quiet space to just listen. And, it's a prolonged amount of time. It's not like an hour, like I was saying to Julie. It's like you need a few days where you can just be quiet and listen. And maybe it's just, a dedicated amount of time every day that you're inviting in the energy of the vision quest for you to connect to, the elders and your ancestors and your spiritual team and yourself and what wisdom is trying to come in right now. Because a vision quest is about like, what am I meant to do now on my spiritual quest, on my spiritual journey, on my soul's journey? And we're all in that energy. But you need a little bit of that ritual as well. So see how you can maybe bring that in and create that for yourself, because it would be, it would get you out of the thinking and reconnect you to the knowing. All right. So I got a message, Cooper. So let's see. I saw it flash on my phone, so I want to make sure to honor it. I have a client who reached out. So I'm going to type in the name and then they reached out to me a while ago. So I want to make sure to read her card next. So I'm going to do Arlene's card. So Arlene had reached out to me and it flashed on my phone and I was hoping it would show up here. So I'm doing her next. I'm sorry I skipped through, but she reached out probably about 45 minutes ago. So Arlene, sweetie, your card is the DNA card. So right now, see those two snakes? So the two snakes can be very scary when we sense them. It's the energy that moves up. Sometimes it's called the Kundalini energy, but it's the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy weaving through. And when that happens, our DNA gets a little bit of a boost. And right now, for many people, our DNA is going and moving into a 12-strand activation. And in that, it can be very uncomfortable. And I know it's been very uncomfortable for you. And so what's clearing is old karma that weighs a lot. So the fears that you've been feeling, that's old karma. Some of the visions you've had, that's old lifetimes. So when that's there, the hardest thing to do is to ask for love and healing for what comes in and is uncomfortable and scary for us. So it's like when we have trouble with a bully, we can be the victim of the bully and allow it to keep happening, or we can send love and healing to the bully, knowing that the bully is reacting in their own trauma. And so we have the power to do that. Every single one of us has the power to do that. So what I'm hearing is, first of all, you have love and compassion for yourself and what you're going through. And it's okay to be not okay with it. And in that place, you want to send love and healing through all the layers of your past lives and all the times where things have been uncomfortable and not quite what you wanted them to be. And sending healing to all the bully energy that's ever been directed toward you or away from you at any point in any lifetime. And that will begin to clear away some of the energy and will allow the activation so that your DNA can align into the higher vibration. And if you need help, you want to call in your big guns, your spiritual big guns. And the big guns is Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Azrael, Archangel Raphael, and say, please help me with this. We never have to act alone. We never have to do it without our team. And those are the big ones for you. And then you can ask Mother Mary to hold your hand, wrap her arm around you, and escort you so that you don't feel that energy of being bullied any longer from any lifetime, because it's time for it to go. Okay? All right, sweetie. Boy, your team was loud and persistent that you were next. All right. Let's see. Where was I? I think Robin is next. All right. So Robin, your card is the Meadow card. So the Meadow card is all about being open and vulnerable. Meadows are wide open spaces. And so many animals won't venture out into the meadow because it's not safe. Because you can be seen and you can't get to cover fast enough. But what's being invited for you right now is to step out into that vulnerable place. Step out into that place where everybody can see you, the real you, and just allow space for that to be okay. That what they think and what they want to judge, that doesn't serve you, and it's not who you are meant to be, right? And so in that place, it's the most courageous people are the ones who can drop their shields and be vulnerable and lead with their heart and lead with love. It's so easy to lead in fear. It is so difficult to lead in love. So you're being invited to be vulnerable enough, to be strong and courageous enough to lead with love, because you've got this and you can set the example for so many other people. Mwah. All right. Thank you. Jackie. My ocean card. So the ocean card is all about the ebb and flow. So Emily, sorry I didn't pull that out sooner. But the ocean card, Jackie, is all about the ebb and flow. So the ocean, I live near the ocean now. So Like today, it was nice and calm. Like the waves were, just gently coming in and out, barely foam, because it was just so calm. And then when there's a storm or brewing, it's like the waves come crashing at the rocks and they're splashing everything. But no matter what, the water comes in and it goes out. Sometimes it's gentle, sometimes it's not. So right now, you're in that energy of the ocean. And when you're feeling stormy inside, oh, it's flowing like crashing waves, right? And emotionally, we can feel like that. Like we have big emotions and we don't know where they're coming from, and it can feel a little crashing and burning, but it's okay. It's all part of the flow. And when we just allow the water to go like that, and there's been a lot of water energy tonight, it's letting the water just flow the way it's supposed to, letting our emotions flow the way they're supposed to. And we can't control the ocean. And every time we try, she laughs at us, right? And it's like, that's cute. That's cute. You think you can put a container on me. She's not controllable that way. And so, but sometimes she's calm and it's smooth sailing, and other times it's not. And when we understand that that's just how our emotions are going to be, that's just how our life is going to be, we stop judging it, we stop worrying about it, and we just live it. Okay? So think of the ocean, and I would start maybe playing some ocean music too to calm your energy. It helps a lot. I know for me it does anyways. All right. Let's see. Who's next? Linda, hi. More water. You want a tsunami. So the tsunami is like, whew, that's a crash and burn card, dear. So when the tsunami is coming in, I think of it as the cosmic 2x4. What has your spiritual team been nudging you on? You ought to change this. You ought to do this differently. You ought to do, and you're like, yeah, I will. Yeah, I get it. I know. And we put it off and we put it off. So in the tsunami energy, it's like we get this like flash of, oh my gosh, I've got to change this now. Because if we don't change it now, then what's going to happen is the universe will make sure it gets changed for us. And the times I see the tsunami often are like, when we've been thinking about changing our job. I don't really like my employer. I'm not having fun at work, and then, and instead of being proactive and starting to look for another job, we just complain. And the next thing we know, we're laid off and we're like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened to me. And it's like, yeah, but you hated it. So the universe made sure that it changed. But you didn't do it on your own terms. So whatever is big and wanting change right now, you have a very little window of opportunity to do it on your own terms right now. Like a week, maybe 10 days. So think about how you can start creating that change. Otherwise, the universe is going to do it for you. And those are a pain in the fanny when you get hit with that. And sometimes we do, because we just can't imagine how this change is actually going to work. And we get scared of the change, or we get fearful of, well, this is how I've always done things. And yep, sometimes we have to have it the other way. But you've got about 7 to 10 days to get that change moving so that you can ride out the wave rather than it crashing and burning over you. Okay? Take action. All right. Mary. So your card is the crystals card. And these in particular in the cave are amethyst, which are all about our third eye in particular. So the crystals card is about creating focus. There's so many things that are changing and lots of possibilities out there. It's really hard to get grounded and take action. So what's being invited for you right now is to really breathe and focus on what you love. it's like what you love, you set this like focal point of this is where I want to be 3 years from now, 5 years from now. And you see yourself being in this joy-filled, love-filled space. And when you sense that and you know that and you become that, then you can, as things are coming in as possibilities for you to do, it's like, well, does this line up with that version of me in the future that I want to be and experience? And if it doesn't, you don't do it. And so it's, sometimes we get overwhelmed when there's too many possibilities. It's like when you take a kid into a toy store and it's like, pick one thing. And they're like, it's just can be so overwhelming, right? And it can be overwhelming when it's like, okay, here are 3 things and you pick one. For some people, even that's overwhelming. So it's sometimes easier to see where you want to be, you know, out in the future, and then make your choices based on, does this align with who I want to be, who my future self wants to be, and go from there. All right. And that will help you. And use amethyst, you know, jewelry, crystals, because they're standing out quite brightly on the card. So that can help you gather your focus as well. All right. Thanks, sweetie. Jackie. Yes, I'll do one for you and then one for your son. So this one's for you first. So this is the forest card, and it's all about breathing. You know, when we step into the forest, we just go and we ground, and we're able to just breathe more fully. So, you know, if you've been feeling really like you've been going and going, or there's been a lot of stress, it's just time for you to stop and breathe. And nature is a really great place, you know. It's why we stop and smell the flowers. It's why we bring the, you know, for me, you know, I roll down my window and I breathe in that salt air, you know, and it just has this thing to it. And when I breathe it in, it just calms me, because I take a deep, deep breath and use my whole lungs. So that is what you're being invited to do, is breathe with your whole lungs. Because when we can breathe with our whole lungs, we have space for spirit to drop in. When we're only breathing with part of our lungs, then spirit doesn't have room. And right now, deep breathing is so essential, because it's helping our lungs stay clear and healthy, so that none of this virus can come in and bother us. So how can you take the deepest breaths possible? You can also do breath work, or you can do some yoga or things like that that encourage you to take these deep, open, long breaths. And that would help as well. But the forest piece seems important. Maybe go hiking or something that will allow you to breathe in the natural fresh air. And for your son, his card is music and harmony. So I have a feeling that he likes the music. And so music restores a lot of our balance, you know, and that can be playing it while we're jumping around the house. And, you know, a lot of us spent a lot of time in the car, and we would have music going in the car, and we're not in the car. And so we're not playing music the same way. And, you know, there are many ways to bring more music in, and it can be listening to music. It can be making music. It can be singing. It can be dancing, whatever does that. But it's your energy needs that artistic sound to bring some harmony and balance back into your energy. And whatever music calls to you, that's the music you need to listen to. But really allow the music to help you speak to the emotions maybe that you haven't got a grasp on how to express. You know, sometimes it's hard to express our frustration, but a song will say what we need to say. So by playing it and singing it, even if it's just in our head, it over and over again, it allows us to release that anger so we don't have to carry it anymore, or sadness or frustration or whatever it is. But bring some more music back in and let that heal you. And yeah, you'll feel a lot calmer. I have a whole set of music for when I'm angry and a whole set when I'm sad. And when I just need to move emotions, I just play them and sing them and move around until I feel more like myself. All right. And that might help. Okay. Thanks for listening. Let's see who's next. Tina. Tina, you have the shaman, the ancient healing wisdom of the shaman. So what this is asking for you is to call on some of the ancient healing wisdom that you have connected to in the past. And it's shamanic in a very broad earth-based sense. So it's that earth-based healing. So whether it has a Native American flair, whether it has a Celtic flair, whether it has a Peruvian flair, it's that natural earth healing energy. And I am seeing like learning practices from one of these areas of study. It may be reading, it may be working with a mentor. It might even be taking some shamanic classes themselves. And there's all sorts of people who offer different versions of that. But it's reconnecting with that part of you that knows how to heal the planet, knows how to heal the earth somewhere in there. Maybe you are using it to some degree, but it's heightened and it's ready to move into wisdom, going from a place of knowledge to a place of wisdom. And when we carry the wisdom, then we become the healer and we become the teacher. So there's some studying that I see. Maybe it's like bringing out old books that you read before and reconnecting with them. But it's time. It's time for that to be unearthed for you. Yeah, because we need it. The planet needs it. And you know it. You've been feeling it. All right. Thanks, sweetie. Christine. So you're not too late. Here you go. So your card is the fog. And the fog card is that, when it's foggy, we can have a sense of what's, we can see the shapes of things and we have a sense of what's, through the fog. But until we're right on top of it, we can't really see it. So this is another card where, what you are trying to figure out, it's not clear yet. So some of the truth is being hidden from you, not in a bad way, but it's not time way. And some of it may be that it isn't fully formed and fully created. So when this card comes up, it's the have some more patience and take a step back and just allow for things to unfold. And it's so hard to do, and it's so frustrating sometimes, but we can't make fog go away. It dissolves when it's ready. When the balance between the heat and the cold goes away, then the fog dissolves and the mist fades away. And then new light shines in and we can see clearly. So right now it's just that's what's going on. And the fog stays the longer we're uncomfortable. So if we can get comfortable with the fact that we don't know, we can't see, and we can't choose in this moment, and that's going to have to wait, then if we're really comfortable, then the fog leaves faster. The more uncomfortable we are, the longer spirit makes us sit in it. Have been there, done that. So invite in all the patience that you can connect to, and it will help dissolve the fog faster. All right. Diane. Oh, Diane. Sorry, Dinah. So Dinah, your card is the wolf. So this is time for you to reconnect to your intuition, check on your personal instincts, go with them, go with your gut feelings. Don't listen to your head, listen to your gut. And I would call in the wolf energy and the wolf medicine too, because that's really jumping off for me. And often that means it's part of your healing energy or your totem, or there's a message that wolf in particular wants to bring to you. Maybe it's a sign from your spiritual team, and whenever you see wolf, they're trying to give you a certain message. I would Google what the wolf totem means. I don't know off the top of my head, but this is all about really trusting your instinct. Really, your gut knows best. Your head is going to try to convince you otherwise, or other people are, but if it doesn't feel right, it's not. So really listen to that. And boy, it's hard sometimes to go with that and to try to explain it to other people. Well, why can't we? I don't know. We just can't. Yeah, you got this. All right, Crystal. So your card, my dear, is the rainbow card. It's the blessings card. And you even said blessings to me. It's sending blessings back to you. So when I see the rainbow card, for me, because of the chakras, there are internal rainbow. And so when they shine brightly, we're in balance. We're in that balanced, harmonious place. Then that's where the magic is created, and that's where harmony is. And that's when, you know, our spiritual team, we feel blessed because things just start to line up the way they're supposed to. And so that's what's really coming in for you this week, is a lot of these like wonderful little blessings of like magical things that line up. And the key is to just keep saying thank you every time they line up. And it's like, woo, thank you. Woo, thank you. And when you do that, it's like the more blessings that we are thankful for, the more blessings that we can receive. And then sometimes we get excited and we create them for other people too. So that's what's coming in for you. So really ride that beautiful energy. And thank you for sharing your blessings with me. Nice. All right, April. All right, so April, your card is the Ancestors card. So the Ancestors card is about, you know, what's going on for you right now is you're working on its generational energy. So there are themes that we have that we're meant to go through. So when things run in the family, like heart disease runs in the family, that is generational energy that is asking to be cleared so that it doesn't have to continue to run in the family. And so we can have things like that are physical like that, or we can have emotional things that run in the family, or, you know, we've always had bad luck and run in the family, because when you make a statement like that, it creates that. So right now, what's coming in for you in this next week or two is that you're being faced with these old belief patterns that have been handed down for generations. And you're in a more awake place where you can say, this doesn't match for me, and this doesn't have to be true for me. It might have been true for my parents or true for my grandparents, but that isn't my reality. And so it's allowing you to break the contract that was created generations ago by your ancestors. And there's no need for us to still be working on it. We can be like, yeah, the buck stops here. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to carry that tradition forward. You know, just because alcoholism runs in our family doesn't mean I'm going to run with it. I'm going to put it to bed and make it and draw the line here and say it's not happening. So whatever that thing is that's coming up right now, that's old energy that, like, when it pops in your awareness, you're like, oh my God, my mom used to say that all the time, or my grandfather or whatever. You're going to sense that connection to your ancestors and be like, this is the thing, and I have the power to change it. And when we change it for all the generations forward as well. So our children and our grandchildren or our nieces and nephews, they don't have to go through it either. So we can be the agent of change. So it's coming. All right. Sarah. So your card, my dear, is the Gaia card. And the Gaia card is all about it's time to allow that divine feminine energy to come in and nurture you. And so, you know, we've had a lot of masculine energy on the planet for a long time, that patriarchal energy, and it's about getting things done. And what we all need is to be sort of swooped up, held, and loved. And our inner child needs it, and deep inside we need it. And so how can you nurture yourself? How can you create a nurturing environment? You know, it's about soft energy. It's about releasing anything that's too loud and too harsh, and getting back to ways that you can breathe deeply. It's about being in love energy and not in fear. And when we're in anxiety and worry, we're in fear. So how do you nurture yourself? How can you take care of you? And whatever feels good to you, it can be a snuggly blanket. It can be, you know, talking to a good friend. It can be curling up with a book. It can be, you know, having a tubby with some nice scents in the water. You know, if you're in a place where you could get a massage, energy healers can do, you know, give you healing from distance. And but it's what makes you feel comfortable. And it might be some comfort foods too, you know, and it's not an overabundance of it, but it's just what feeds your soul right now. And what I'm feeling is it needs to be quiet, much quieter than it's been. There's been a lot of energetic noise around you and a lot of stress on your nervous system. So you just need a little TLC. And it's okay to ask for it. And it's okay to allow other people to nurture you for a little bit. Okay. All right. Kimberly. Whew. Yes, Duquette. I'm like, I think I'm on Duquette. All right. So you have the lightning card. Whew. Look at that power. So, you know, when the lightning comes in, this is like the tower card. Crack. And when that lightning comes in, there's a lot of force, there's a lot of power, and there's often a lot of change attached to it. Whatever we've held as our foundation and who we are and how we're supposed to be, it's inviting upheaval and change. And I know you've been inviting change to come in different ways because things haven't been the way that feel in alignment with who you are. And so you can either be struck by lightning and it can knock you off your feet, or you can become the lightning rod where you gather all that power that comes in from the lightning and then you use it to create with force and determination. And remember, it's not making things happen. It's channeling your strength and the divine change energy, and refocusing it with intention of how you want to create the change in a powerful way. And you know you can do it. And you don't need anybody else's permission, and you don't need anybody else's help. You can do this one all on your own. Now, it doesn't mean you can't invite in help, but call in your spiritual team and really only the people who love and support you, like in every moment, who don't bitch and complain about you in other moments. Because those aren't your true helpers. They will help you when it aligns with their vision of you. And this is not what you need. You need to just be in as much full force power as you can muster. All right, and create the change. You can do it. All right, Sally. Of course you can have a card, sweetie. So your card is the Green Man, and this is all about creating synergy. So the Green Man is the companion to Gaia. It's the masculine form. And the synergy is that energy of, when different things are spinning and coming up, it's that calling in all the things that kind of work together. It's like you're cooking. You're cooking with energy. And in that place, it's like, ooh, these things go together. And how do I use them for a new purpose? So the Green Man is really helping you ground your energy, ground your creativity, and really bringing together some different elements to create something new. It's almost like it's very innovative. And it's like, hey, I never thought of that. I wonder if that would work. And then all of a sudden it's the newest trend. So notice things that are coming together and lining up, and those coincidences, that those are things lining up for you. And when you start to see those, then realize that that's the energy aligning. And when you see that energy aligning, it'll bring in the innovation, it'll bring in new creation energy. And there's some fantastic stuff coming from that. So bring that energy together, just like I was saying to Kimberly, bring that energy together and focus it where you want it to go. Nice. All right, Deborah. Hi, dear. I honor that you're with your grandkids. That's a tough one sometimes. So your card is the Rain card, dear. And the Rain is all about, right now, Rain is about purification. It's about cleansing. It's about really washing away what doesn't work, and sometimes rain can come down gently and we love it and we can dance in it. And other times it's torrential. And then we look out and everything is ruined. So notice this week as things are coming in, you may feel that sense of purification. And lots of times it actually physically rains on the days when we're releasing. I'm known for it raining or snowing when I'm doing retreats on one of the days, because there's so much energy in the air that needs to release that Mother Nature is like, ooh, we need a purification, and sends water. So whether you do that yourself by taking showers to release energy or go swimming, or it actually rains, I'm not sure. But every time you sense rain, it's purification and releasing what you no longer want to hold on to. So if you have things that you're trying to let go of, you can ask the water elements to wash it away. You can ask the rain to wash away my fear, wash away my concerns, wash away regret or anything that I have been holding on to. And it's very, very powerful. So use that. All right. Let's see, Madonna. Hi, dear. So your card is the Lake card. Now, Lake is the one card, the water card that isn't moving. So for you, the emotions, it's all about getting still. It's all about getting quiet and seeing what's in the stillness. When we sit in nature and we close our eyes, we hear so many more sounds. We can hear the leaves rustling. We can hear birds chirping. We can hear animals moving and the wind. We can feel the wind. So we become more aware of what's going on around us when we are quiet. So right now, what I'm seeing for you in particular is that there's a story that wants to be birthed, but you can only find it in the quiet. So it's like, allow yourself to be as still as you can be, and the new story will start to take shape and take form. There's a lot of creation, swirling energy that's connected to that, but you'll only hear it in the stillness. So I don't know if you need I mean, I know you're very connected to water too, so you may need to get near water that feels calming for you and helps you to return to a still place. But yeah, there's a story that's coming out, that's birthing in there somewhere. So let that be. You'll find it, you'll hear it, you'll sense it in the quiet. All right. Woo, that's exciting. All right, Carol. So your card, my dear, is the Dawn. And the Dawn is great. The Dawn is all these new beginnings. So things are coming for you. Things are starting. And in that place, it's like there's all these possibilities. So let yourself get excited about them. Let yourself look to the sun and see what makes your heart sing. You know, sometimes we worry about, you know, the endings, you know, that things change and now they're no longer the same. But in the new beginnings energy, it's like we get to create a whole new future. And so how exciting. And how do you want to do that? And let your inner child have some fun creating that, because it can be very, very magical. It doesn't have to be the way things have always been, which is really wonderful and intense. So lean into that and let that be the power of the new beginning for you. All right. Let's see what we've got here. Lydia and Janet, I think. Yes. All right, ladies. Lydia, let's do yours first. Oh, yep, this sounds right. So you have the volcano card. So that's a lot of volatility, which is a lot of, well, you've had irritability, right? So the volcano card is a lot of energy beneath the surface that's ready to burst forth. And we were talking about, you know, your psychic abilities that are bursting forth right now. And that pressure valve of the volcano bursting, that's kind of what's happening. And so when the volcano blows, you can't just tell the volcano to, you know, okay, the lava needs to stop flowing and it's just going to go. So, you know, right now you may be more irritable, you may be more quick tempered. That's okay. That's part of what's clearing. You know, some people cleanse in rain and water, and you are cleansing and purifying in fire. And that's true with leaders. We tend to burn things energetically, inside and out. You know, so this can even be heartburn. When I've gotten this card, I often am having acid reflux or heartburn. So if you're feeling that too, you want to avoid dairy, caffeine, chocolate, and sugar, because those will all set off the volcano if it's that, and spicy foods. But it's okay that things are changing and that things want to shift. When we've held on to emotions for too long, sometimes they just gotta blow. But you get to control how much it's going to blow. So you might want to do some things to help release that raw frustration energy and that anxiety and worry. You know, start playing music loud that you can sing and scream to. I like to take one of those like plastic wiffle ball bats and I bang it on my sofa, something soft, not wood. But I'll bang it on my bed and I'm screaming or I'm singing out loud and I'm letting out all of that raw fire energy. And, you know, as women, we lots of times keep all of that in because it's, you know, we don't want to be scary or feel scary, but it's got to come out somehow. Go in your car, sing it out loud, but get it out so that it doesn't blow so much. And your mom will know how to help you with that. Janet, your card. So you have the stone people. So this is the vigilance card. So this card for you is, it may have to do with Lydia because you may be vigilant, you may be watching her, you may be keeping an eye. And as the stone people, we call on the crystals and we ask the crystals to help and the crystals to heal. But, it's about, being mindful and watching what's going on. And then we step in and help when we're needed. And sometimes that means we get to be the ground for someone else. And maybe that's something you haven't done before or often. And it's you get to be the center and you get to be the stable energy for someone else, and we often do that in our mom energy. We step into that and we're like, we get nice and strong and we're like, all right, I'm going to do this, and we keep watch. We watch over and we make sure that everything's okay. And not in a hovering, smothering kind of way, but in a, I'm here so that you can feel solid type of way for somebody else. And whether that's for your kids or whether it's for a friend, that's the energy this week. And you got this. You've been practicing, so you know how to do it. All right. Daryl. Nice to have you from South Africa. Welcome to the show. What a great card for you. So this is the spring equinox card. And this is the rebirth card. So here we are in that new energy, this new time. And in this energy of rebirth, brand new things are created, including you. So as you feel this energy shifting in the environment around you, as we feel our global community changing, how can we embrace the change? How can we be in the love energy and the light energy more fully? And when we connect to that rebirthing energy, whether we see rebirth as the fertility of the rabbit or the flight of the phoenix, it is a time when we grow and change and transform. We are all able to do that. We're all being called to do that on a global scale, but we each can do that for the entire planet if we listen to the call within our heart. So yours is calling you to stretch and grow in a new way. I feel that it's connected spiritually to a fuller version of yourself, maybe stepping into your role as a healer for the planet in a bigger way. And when you do that, you'll start to bring out your inner sunshine and you'll start to shine more fully as if you were the sun in the fullest of the summer. So I welcome that change for you. And I so encourage you to join us again because your energy is quite lovely. So thank you. Violet, your card is the mountain card. And the mountain card is all about strength. It's very similar to the stone card that I had for Janet a minute ago. And in this mountain of strength, it's inviting you, as things seem challenging, to reach deep down inside and feel your inner strength, because you have it in spades. You know that. So how do you find that fierceness and that courage? Maybe it's by imagining that you are unshakable, you are unmovable. Those mountains have been there for centuries. And yes, they change because of the winds that erode and the nature that comes and goes, but they're still there. And so I'm also seeing a lion for you. So I don't know if a lion is a totem. So it's like walking beside you, that's helping you, remind you of your courage and strength as well. And when we feel like we can't handle another thing, it's like, no, we're only given what we are able to manage, and maybe it feels right on the edge, but just dig deep inside, and don't forget you have a whole team of helpers in your angels and your guides, and they're right there ready for you to call on them. So that was the last card, and I always give one more card to my helper there. And so here you go, Cooper. You got the iceberg as well. So right now, not everything is out. There's still stuff buried beneath the surface. So in that energy, you know, you can only see a part of the picture. There's a lot that's still coming out. So when you know, I know you're coming to the end of your semester and different things, and then you're going to start your new one. It's like there's still a lot that's unfolding that you haven't seen, you can't see right now. So don't be deep diving unless you want to really look at what's emotionally beneath the surface. Let it kind of stay there. And when you're ready to express it, it'll be ready to come out. So with that, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Join me tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for chakra sessions. I will be talking about the root chakra, which is the foundation of our lives, and how it impacts our mental thoughts, ideas, and beliefs. Because boy, it really is creating quite a storm right now on the planet. And if we know a little bit, then we can heal a little bit. And with that, guys, thank you for helping me do my personal mission, which is to heal the healers. And I will see you next week here on Soul Connections. Bye for now.